Mia Redrick here, the mom strategist, coming to you with my gem scope. I'm going to keep it real quick today. I'm going to keep it quick. I'm Mia Redrick. I'm the mom strategist, and I support my clients with both life and business success. You can always check me out at miaredrick.com. I know you guys are already signing up on my list, and I love that we get to stay connected. That's where, if there are any promotions or anything like that, that's where you're going to find out about them. So you need to make sure you're getting my list, right? Mia, you're on my list at miaredrick.com. That's where the action is, all right? Just sign up there, all right? I'm Mia Redrick, as you guys know, and every single morning I come Monday through Friday and from the gym or wherever I'm working out. Good morning, Catherine. And I share with you, good morning, I share with you something that will inspire you or will create a shift for you. My only goal is to get you thinking, really, to get you thinking so that you can act on this big old bodacious life that we have and all the opportunities that are around us. I've been coaching clients for over 13 years. If you've been following me, one of the things I think that you understand about me is that I shoot straight because I do, and that I don't hype, right? I'm not into that. I don't need to do that. There are plenty of places that you can go for that, but if you want to learn what you really need to do to be able to build your business and from scratch, or how to leverage what you know to package what you know, I've supported literally thousands of clients with my advice nationwide and internationally. I have a large international base. About 20% of my clients is from our international clients. So I'm real excited about that. Now today what I'm going to be teaching on or sharing really succinctly, good morning, is simply how do you take a difficult time, a tough time, and turn it into a powerful moment. I'm going to share a personal story with you guys, and my goal is that you see yourselves inside of my story, and that maybe what it does is it inspires you and helps you to realize that even you can take a tough moment and you can turn that tough moment into something really amazing, not only for yourself, but for the people that you love, all right? I know you can't wait to hear, and I'm going to break that down. Do me a favor, guys. If you haven't shared yet on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Periscope, we know that people will be blessed by hearing this message this morning. There are lots of people out there dealing with some tough stuff, and sometimes the way that you frame whatever it is in front of you makes all the difference. So I thought, let me share with you guys a story of something that was really tough for me, and then what I did do, and what happened as a result of what I did do. For those of you who are just joining me and I'm just meeting, it's nice to virtually meet you. I'm Mia Redrick. I'm the mom strategist, and I'm a business coach, and I support clients with understanding you can take your professional gifts, your background, your education, your soft skills, your PhD, your MD, your JD, your amazing job, right? And you can package your skills that you already know into a product that you can sell passively from the comfort of your home. I built my business from scratch. My background's corporate training, and that's why I know how to take anything that you know how to do and package it into product, right? And so that's what I do. That's what I support my clients in doing that. Many of my clients have made thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and a few of my clients have even made millions of dollars with the advice that I've taught them. Every single thing that I teach my clients is what I did myself to be able to build my brand from scratch. As the mom strategist, you don't know any mom strategist, all right, how I built my brand from scratch. And I just had this vision to be able to go around the world and coach moms and help them understand, take a stand for them and say that just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't do this or that. Because you have so many people telling moms that, if you're a mom, let's ignore the fact that you're a mom and you want to start a business. You got to do it like everybody else. Well, that's true after I stopped nursing. Well, that's true after I drop all my kids off and go to 2 baseball games and all that. And the fact of the matter is you need more than that. You need systems, right? That's what I've needed in order for me to be able to rock out my business and rock out my marriage and rock out motherhood, all right? And the fact that I don't ignore that in coaching my clients, I give them systems that I know. My kids are 12, They are 15 and they are 18, almost 19 years old. They have never seen their mom or dad work a job because we've built sustainable success in our businesses. We've been able to give our kids a world-class education as a result of running a business that we absolutely love. We have several businesses. And so I want to say that to you and know, this whole idea that because you are a mom that you can't grow a business, right? No, that's not true either, right? I take a stand for that. Or because your circumstances, your kids are young, or maybe your spouse is sick. Nope, not. My husband was on dialysis for many years. In fact, I'm going to share a story with you guys today about that. For 8 years, my husband was on dialysis because he had kidney disease, and I built an amazing business, did 3 triathlons during that exact same time, ended up getting signed to a nationally syndicated, Emmy-nominated television show, and I tell you that during that time, and I took amazing care of them, and I still rocked up my dreams, and that's why I'm not listening. I don't listen to any of those excuses. I show you the systems you need to put in place. And I do believe that in order to teach somebody a system about how to do it, you have to have done it, all right? And in order for it to work. So for me, anything that I'm going to advise you on in motherhood or in your life, it has to be a system that I know flat works. It's not hype. It's not something I read. It's not something I saw on somebody's website. It's not something that I Googled. It's something that I had to make work in my own life because I had some extenuating circumstances. So that being said, you know what I mean, I'm going to bring my A game today. Do me a favor, if you haven't shared yet on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Periscope, please do that, right? Because we know that other people will totally benefit as a result of hearing the scope this morning. I'm going to be teaching real simply today how to turn a bad experience, how to turn a difficult experience into a powerful moment, right? How to turn a difficult experience into a powerful moment. That's what I'm going to talk about today. And the truth of the matter is a personal story. And the truth of the matter is at any point in any of our lives, we've all had moments that have been tough, they've been hard, they've been arduous, we've had difficult moments. So I don't care what kind of success you're creating here in, Periscope world or Facebook Live or any other world or blog world or whatever it is in the social media spectrum. We're all human. And in being human, we all have ups and we all have downs. Everybody puts their pants on exactly and their dresses on, their skirts on the exact same way. And I know that journey for me has been that's been the reality. I was telling a client yesterday who was struggling in her business, facing something that she had to pull back, on some of her expenses. And it was just a reality. And I explained to her, I said, you know what, as we've grown our companies over the years, whether it's been our real estate business, as investors, we've had losses. We've had great wins, but we've had losses. I remember also in our commercial laundry, we had a commercial contract. We had that one of them was like $900,000, pretty big contract, and we lost it because the people that we were doing business with didn't get their contract renewed, right? It wasn't funded anymore. That was a huge loss for us. I mean, imagine losing, almost $1 million contract, right? So, I tried to explain to her that, and I want you guys to understand this too. When you listen to people and they're talking about like all the success they have, they should also hold a place for and if this is real, hold the place for the climb, because the climb is real. The climb is a real thing, okay? And no one, no matter what they're doing in business, no matter what amazing success they've had, has gotten there without climbing, reaching, falling, climbing again, getting up. And that's the truth of the matter. But here's my story that I thought about today. Today was a kettlebell day at the gym. So before I get started, last time, please share on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Periscope, because if you haven't shared, I'm going to bring my A game in this. And my goal is to support you with, taking an action. And if you are ready to work with a kick butt coach, I'm ready to work with you if you're ready to do the work. All right. But you are going to have to make an investment. You're going to have skin in your own game. That's for sure. And I promise to bring my A game to support you in becoming the person you need to be to ask what you want of this amazing life. All right. Because that's what I do best, is support my clients in growing into the person that could see the stuff that's already around them anyway. All right. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. If you're ready, say I'm ready, Mia, and I'll get started. All right. So today I'm going to be teaching on how to turn a bad experience into a powerful moment. And my husband, yeah, 8 or 9 years ago, found out that, well, he had known before that he was having, he had protein in his urine, right? Because, and that's the early sign, excessive protein in his urine. So it's an early sign that he was going to be having a predisposition for kidney disease. But it started to increase even more. That was happening to him even as young as high school. So he knew that he had this thing he had to watch. But 8 or 9 years ago, he got a phone call. His labs, he had done his labs, and he got a phone call. It was late at night from his doctor, and his doctor said, "You're going to need to go on dialysis, right? You have kidney disease, all right?" And I'll never forget that phone call because he was so devastated. So the moment that he got that phone call that said, "You have kidney disease," he was devastated, okay? And I was sad, but he was devastated, all right? I remember he was sitting on the edge of the bed, and he didn't cry, but he was in shock, you know what I'm saying? And I think he was tremendously afraid of what this was going to mean for his life. So let me tell you why. Because his father also had kidney disease, and his father's mother had kidney disease. And they had had multiple amputations. So the most important thing to understand is multiple amputations, all right? So Patrick's dad had 3 or 4 amputations, his both legs and, I mean, just toes, and it was just horrific, all right? And I think that Patrick grew up, and his dad was a very sickly man, and he grew up with a dad that wasn't well. And so his picture of what not being well was like very clearly defined. I hope you guys are following me on this, all right? So do me a favor and please share this scope, guys, with other people, because this is really going to help somebody, all right? This is going to help somebody, all right? So, and don't keep it to yourself. Like, all you got to do is hit the share button. Like, come on, all right? So, so he had a clear picture of what sickness looked like. He had a clear picture of what he thought he was going to be like as a result of that news, and it really devastated him. All right, and so I'll never forget it. So he's sitting on the edge of the bed. He is out of it, and really had a bout with depression. So he was depressed about it. He was sad about it. He was, he was thinking about what this was going to mean. Our kids were 9 and maybe 6, and then 3 years old, and and he's thinking instantly about this young guy, right, in his 40s, on dialysis, and with these young kids, and he's married to me, and what is this going to mean for his life? Because he knew what it meant for his dad, and his dad had died, also had a heart attack, and just the side effects of dialysis is really bad. Like sometimes because of the therapy, sometimes it weakens your heart, right? So, so he was devastated, and so each and every day after he had gotten that news, he did move forward with what he needed to do. Got himself set up for the dialysis center. It was 15 to 18 hours a week of going to dialysis, very grueling therapy. But then we found out that he had another opportunity to dialyze at home, all right, and that's peritoneal dialysis. And that meant that there are a couple of different ways that you can dialyze at home, but he was able to do this one therapy, which is less aggressive, and it's no blood exchanged at the house, but it's fluids, and you have these tubes that are in your belly. So he did the surgery for that, and when he did that surgery, he was now able to dialyze at home. But still, we had, literally boxes of fluids that came to our house. I think they came every week or every 2 weeks, and like 25 big boxes, and he had to dialyze with this fluid. It was a pretty intense process, and ironically, not ironically, because God prepares you, right? My husband, when he did work, he used to work for a Baxter Healthcare. He used to work for and sell tubing, like the tubing he was using. He was he was a medical sales rep. And so he knew all the tubing, he knew how to read all the monitors and all this kind of stuff. And that was what he really needed in order for him to be able to dialyze himself, right? And right. So it was a blessing that in an essence he was already prepared to use the tubing that he was selling, that he had been selling for years as a young person working for Baxter Healthcare. He was now able to use that exact tubing, and he understood how to use it because he had sold it for many years, about 9 or 10 years in medical sales. So that was an incredible blessing for him. So he was dialyzing at home 15 to 18 hours a week and still dealing with some things of like, where can I go? And, not really feeling like he was going to have the mobility that he wanted to. And again, still tremendously sad and in shock about being on dialysis. Now, here's the kicker. And I saw this, and I saw the impact on our marriage. I saw the impact on him. I saw the impact as it related to our children, and the fact that, he was feeling like the sick old dad, right? The sick old dad who was young, right? Who had plenty of life inside of him. And I want you to hear me on this. And so what I decided to do once he started peritoneal dialysis is I booked a trip to Atlantis in the Bahamas. I booked a trip. I got tickets for my husband. I booked an amazing vacation. And then I told Pat that I had booked a trip to Atlantis and that we were going to leave in 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it was. And he was pissed. And he was pissed off. Like he said, how insensitive of you. I can't leave. I can't go. I have these boxes. What I have to do, right? And I told him, I said, well, here's the thing. We are going, and we want you to come. And you need to figure out how you're going to get those boxes to the Bahamas. That's what you got to figure out, right? And so he called somewhere, and it was like, they said something crazy, like $20,000 to ship the boxes internationally, because there's a lot of boxes, and they're pretty heavy. They were pretty heavy because they're loaded with fluid, right? And but the machine he was using was pretty small, but the fluid, it was a lot. He would have to ship, we'd have to take 20 boxes or so with us in order for him to go. Nice size boxes. So he called around. He's feeling discouraged, and then he's upset with me because I'm buying swimsuits, you know what I mean, getting goggles for the kids, and we're planning. We're going to the Bahamas, and we want you to come too. That's what I told him, right? And I had bought his ticket, and so he kept calling and trying to figure out what he could do, and then he found out that he could take the boxes, and there was a minimal charge for us. And what I told him was, every time he came back to me and said that he couldn't go and that this wasn't working and it was too expensive, I said, well, we got to live with the boxes. Right, the boxes are a part of our world. We can't not include the boxes. It's they're like children, right? The boxes go where we go, all right? And the reality is, I didn't know what the expense was going to be, but I knew that there was no price greater than feeling like you are confined, feeling like you don't have the mobility, you don't have the flexibility, you can't be the kind of person that you were, you can't enjoy life. That's what freaking way is that to live, right? And that impacts everything you have to do. So fast forward, he found a way. Hey, Dr. G, he found a way to ship the boxes, and it was some charge, but it was minimal, really. It was maybe somewhere between $600 and $1,500. I cannot remember, and we only needed to pay for them ongoing, right? Because on the way back, he would have used the boxes because that's what he needed to use to dialyze himself, right? Hey there, darling. Good to see you. All right. Make sure you guys share on Twitter, on Facebook, on Periscope, right? So I'm breaking this story down, and I'm almost done. I got a hair appointment in a minute. All right. So thank you so much for sharing. All right. So, and I'll never forget it. So he figured out how he was going to get those boxes there. That morning, I never really involved myself in the boxes. I just told him he had to get the boxes. And I knew that it was going to be really difficult to live with someone that felt like a prisoner in their own life, right? And that my responsibility as his wife, as a person that loved him, as a person that knew how brilliant and amazing, I know how brilliant and amazing, loving and kind and awesome he is to me and to my children, to help him find that giant within this circumstance. And that I knew if he could figure out how to get those boxes to the Bahamas and internationally, that he wasn't going to have any problem moving around the United States of America, all right? And that's exactly what happened. So we flew to the Bahamas. We had an amazing time. And we had very little problems really with the boxes and the fluid, which is, in essence, what he needed to dialyze himself, because it's not really medicine as much as it was fluid that he needed in order for him to live, right, and be healthy. And he had a great time. We're on the beach, doing all these things. And at that moment, when we came back home, he never ever said anything again about what he couldn't do, how he couldn't go anywhere. So, you know what I mean? What was not possible. And so we've been to so many countries with Pat on dialysis. And we went to Mexico. We go to Mexico all the time, but we've gone to, we've gone to Belize. We've gone to, obviously Canada. We've gone to, not Costa Rica, Honduras. We've gone to, we've traveled the world literally as a family with dialysis. So that's my point to you, right? So how sometimes taking a really difficult experience, right? Take a difficult experience and then take that experience and the people that you love, you know what I mean? We've gone to Jamaica, we've gone to St. Thomas, we've gone a lot throughout the Caribbean, and we've taken those boxes with us. And the moment that he understood that he was not confined by this condition, everything changed. And I think sometimes you can have people in your life, hey, yeah, darling, you're going to love this scope. You're going to have to watch the replay. But sometimes you can have a situation that you believe that situation dictates who you are, what you can do, and it's just not real. All right. And I want you to know that it's not real. All right. So I hope that you guys were blessed as a result of what I shared today. And I got to go. So I'm Mia Redrick. I am the mom strategist, and I support clients with both life and business success. You can always check me out at miaredrick.com, And what I love, yeah, it's a really good one. And what I love to do is support my clients in understanding that your life informs your business, and your business doesn't inform your life. Your life informs your business, all right? So I'll talk to you guys soon. I'm out of here. Talk to you soon. Bye.